Okay everyone, this is the tutorial for balancing equations from written sentences that I promised you, and I'm going to start at the bottom of the page this time, just mix it up a little bit. So, first thing we got to do, magnesium nitride decomposes into magnesium and nitrogen. Now, IDE, is the ending we add if it comes from the periodic table. So I know that this is a compound, Mg, magnesium, and N from the periodic table, and it decomposes. So it goes through a reaction into magnesium, which is a single element, and that and means plus nitrogen. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check for diatomics. Remember, our diatomics are N, O, F, Cl, Br, and H. Start at 7, make a 7, don't forget your H. Now, we only care about diatomics of the elements by itself. This isn't a compound, we ignore. Magnesium is by itself, but it's not one of our diatomics. N's by itself, and it is one of our diatomics. We put a little 2 behind it. Next thing we gotta do is we gotta balance our compounds. And we balance our compounds through the crisscross method. There's only one compound in this equation, and that's right here. So our magnesium, it's in group 2 on the periodic table. That means it will have a 2 plus charge when it forms an ion. Nitrogen's in group 15, 5 valence electrons. It's easier for nitrogen to gain 3 than to give up 5, so it will have a 3 minus charge. Take the numbers only when we crisscross, not the charges, and put it on the opposite element. Rewrite Mg3 N2 decomposes into Mg and N2. Now our next step is to just balance the whole gosh darn thing. So we've got Mg's, we've got N's, 3 magnesiums on the left, 1 magnesium on the right, 2 nitrogens on the left, and 2 nitrogens on the right. It's actually a pretty darn easy equation to balance. The only thing that's off right now is my magnesium. So I'm going to multiply by 3. This 3 has to become the coefficient. I multiplied on the right-hand side of my element, so I'm on the right-hand side of my equation. Put my 3 up, and now I update my numbers. Now I have 3 Mg's. So 3 Mg's, 3 Mg's, 2 N's, and 2 N's. That is a finished, balanced equation. So let's look at the next one. Ammonium. Now this is a completely foreign word unless you look on your cheat sheet. Ammonium on your cheat sheet is NH4. Ammonium, and means plus, oxygen, undergo a single replacement reaction into water, and we all know water is H2O, and nitrogen. Okay, that's our first step, reactants and products. Our second step is to check for diatomics. Remember, we only care about diatomics when they're by themselves. Oxygen's by itself, it is one of our 7 diatomics, it's right here. Nitrogen's by itself, it is also a diatomic, so we added 2. Our next step is to crisscross. However, in this case, our compound came off our cheat sheet, and we know if it comes off our cheat sheet, we just leave it alone. So that one we can leave alone. And water is H2O, that's a commonly known fact. However, if we just had H and O, and we went ahead and crisscrossed, H has a 1 plus charge, O is in group 16, it's got a 2 minus. If we crisscross, we would end up with the same formula, H2O. So we got lucky on that one. Our next step is to balance the whole darn thing. N, H, and O. One N on the left, 2 N's on the right, 4 H's on the left, 2 H's on the right, 2 O's on the left, and 1 O on the right. Start at the top. Let's make our N's happy. We're going to multiply by 2. This 2 becomes the coefficient in front of the compound containing nitrogen on the left. Update our numbers. We now have 2 nitrogens, 2 times 4, we now have 8 hydrogens. Alright? Alright, my H's are happy, let's make my N's are happy, let's make my H's happy. Got 8 on the left, I've got 2 on the right. I'm going to multiply by 4. This 4, since I'm on the right side of my element, is going to go on the right side of my equation. 2 times 4, I now have 8 hydrogens. The subscript on O is 1 times my new coefficient of 4 is 4. Okay, my N's are happy, my H's are happy. Let's make my O's happy. 2 on the left, 4 on the right. I've got to multiply by 2. Make the 2 my coefficient on the left-hand side of the equation in front of O. Update my numbers. 2 times 2 is 4. And that, folks, is a balanced equation. You are responsible for 1 through 4 on this paper. I know most of you did 1 and 2 in class, so hopefully you only have 3 and 4 left since I did 5 and 6 for you. Due to me on Monday, don't forget.